Hello everyone, welcome to the class of Quantitative Methods of Management. So let's start the class unit 1.3 where we'll discuss statistical survey. So here in this unit we will discuss the need of statistical survey and why it is done to collect the primary data. A city council wanted to understand resident opinions on a proposed park renovation. So they conducted a statistical survey where they selected random sample of 500 households from the city population of 50,000. Now the survey asked about the preference of features like playground, walking trails and sitting zone. After organizing and analyzing the response, the council discovered that the 70% of the participants they focused and prioritized on more green space and shaded sitting. Using this representative data, they confidently concluded that these features were desired citywide. Now, the council then tailored their renovation plan, ensured that the project aligned with the majority preference while maximizing the community satisfaction. Learning objective. So guys, at the end of this topic, you will be able to explain the working of statistical survey. Okay, when we talk about the objective of understanding the statistical survey, it is to learn how it collect and analyzes data to study a population. It basically aid in decision making and trend analysis. Elaborate the various stages of statistical survey. So when we talk about key learning stages including planning like defining objective, selecting the population and designing the survey, then working on execution like data collection and processing, then working on analysis using statistical tool to interpret the data, and then reporting where we talk about presenting result clearly with charts and table. Then explain the various and different types of variables used in statistical survey. Additionally, understanding different types of variables, which is very crucial guys. So when we talk about quantitative variable, they can be either discrete like whole numbers, or they can be either continuous like any value within the range. Qualitative variables are either nominal where it can be belong to inherent order or eye color, or it can be based on some ranking like satisfaction level. These stages and concept ensure a structured and efficient approach to conduct a statistical survey.
So, discussing statistical survey is a systematic method used to collect, organize, analyze, and interpret data from specific groups of population. Okay, where the primary goal of a statistical survey is to gather information from representative sample in order to make generalization or draw conclusions about the larger population. Okay, so this approach basically allow researchers to study trends, behavior, opinions, and other features in an organized and evidence-based manner, where the surveys are widely used across various fields such as economics, social science, and public wealth. So, in economic surveys help to analyze market trends and consumer behavior, while in social science they are used to understand societal attitudes and demographic pattern. And in public health, they monitor health trends and identify community needs. Okay, so basically, when we employ representative sampling and systematic methodologies, statistical survey ensure that the collected data accurately reflect the target population, enabling meaningful insights and informed decision making. So, discussing further on statistical survey, the mentioned visuals gives an idea about how statistical surveys are recorded in visual form. So, talking about the stages of statistical survey, the planning of a statistical survey involves several key stages to ensure accurate and meaningful data collection. The first step is defining the objective, where the purpose of the survey and the specific data requirements are clearly outlined. For instances, a survey on customer satisfaction would aim to gather feedback to analyze service quality or product performance. An example can be worked on surveys on customer satisfaction, okay, which actually help us to have a better idea about how aiming for getting feedback to analyze service quality or product performance can ultimately help us to have a better clarity on further decision making. The next can be identifying the population or inverse, which refers to specific groups that the surveys target. It includes, for example, employees for a company when conducting a satisfaction survey within the organization, which it's basically target the relevant group for the survey. Examples can be employees for a company for a satisfaction survey. Next stage is the planning of a statistical survey. So when we are talking about the planning for the statistical survey here, the process what involves is choosing the sample an appropriate sampling method. So the sampling method must be chosen where the researcher can opt for a census which involves studying the entire population, or a representative sample which captures the smaller yet statistically valid portion of the population. Developing the survey instruments is about designing the question that should be clear and unbiased, and we have to choose between qualitative and quantitative data. So basically, when we are talking about development of statistical survey, it involves designing the survey instrument where deciding on the mode of data collection and conducting pilot testing is very important, where the developing the survey instrument is a critical step where the questions are crafted to ensure clarity, relevance, and impartiality. These questions can be tailored to collect qualitative data which explores opinions and experiences, or quantitative data which focus on numerical insights. Next is about deciding the mode of data collection. So the mode of data collection is then determined based on target population and available resources. Okay, the common options include interviews for detailed responses, online surveys for broader reach, or mailed questionnaires for more traditional approaches. So once the survey design is complete, pilot testing is conducted on a small representative groups, which help to identify any issues with the questions structure or data collection methods, enabling adjustments before the full scale implementation of the survey. Next to discuss is the execution of statistical survey, where the execution of the statistical survey encompasses five essential stages: data collection, data processing, data analysis, interpretation of result, and reporting the finding. So data collection involves gathering information from selected sample using the predefined method, where it ensures accuracy and reliability throughout the process. And once the data is collected, the next step is the data processing, which includes cleaning and organizing the raw data. It involves tasks such as removing errors, addressing missing values, and formatting the data for analysis. Going further, when we talk about the analysis, we use statistical tools such as averages, percentages, correlation, hypothesis testing. Okay, these methods are actually helpful to extract meaningful patterns or relationship in the data. And after analysis, interpretation of result is carried out to draw meaningful conclusions aligned with the survey objective. This step connects the finding to the survey's goal and provide actionable insights. Next is execution of statistical survey. So finally, the reporting of findings involves presenting the result in a clearly and visual appealing manner, where the tables and graphs and charts are used to ensure that the data is clearly understood by the target audience. These stages collectively ensures that the surveys provide accurate, reliable, and actionable insights. Now, the basic terms used in statistical surveys, like in statistical survey, several basic terms are essential for understanding and conducting the study effectively. It can be units or individuals, which refers to the member or element of the population being studied, such as household in an income survey or student in an educational survey study. These are the entities from which the data is collected. Examples like households and income survey. Quantitative statistic is a measurable. trait or attribute that can be expressed numerically. Example includes income, height, weight, or age. Qualitative statistic refer to non-numeric traits that describe attributes or qualities. Example include gender, car, color, or educational qualifications. These traits are typically categorized and analyzed using methods suited for categorical data. So understanding these terms ensure clarity in defining the scope and variables of the survey, enabling accurate data collection and meaningful analysis. Talking about population or universe refers to the complete group or entire set of individuals or unit that are under study. This could be any defined group such as eligible voters in the country, all households in the city, or all employees in an organization. The population represents the broader group about which the conclusions are to be drawn. Sample, on the other hand, is a small subset of the population that is selected to participate in the survey. Since it is often impractical or impossible to survey the entire population, a sample is chosen to represent the population. The sample is selected using various sampling techniques, ensuring it is representative and unbiased. A variable is a measurable characteristic or attribute that can vary among individuals or units within the population or sample. It represents the something that can take on different values. For example, in an educational survey, we have grades which would be variable since they vary from student to student. Similarly, weight is another variable as different individual will have different weight values. Type of variables. So talking about the variables, we have quantitative variables or numerical, which takes only numerical entries like age, income, height. It can be qualitative variables which cannot be measured, like gender, color. So quantitative variables include discrete variables like whole number of intermediate values, example number of chickens, continuous variable which can take any value within the range, example height, weight, time, temperature. Qualitative variables include nominal variable and ordinal variable. Nominal variables are categories with no inherent order, example eye color, gender, nationality, car brand. Ordinal variable include categories with a clear ranking, examples satisfaction level, educational level, class ranking.
So at the end of this topic, we have discussed about statistical survey, which are very powerful tool for gaining valuable insight into various population and phenomena. It basically ensures the reliability and validity of various findings. It basically helps us in careful planning and execution. So this involved defining clear objectives like selecting the appropriate sample, developing unbiased survey instruments, and choosing the correct data collection methods. So guys, understanding key concepts like variables, population, sample, and different types of data is essential for accurate analysis. So when we talk about the success of survey, it depends on the precision of the data collection, thorough data processing, and effective data analysis using statistical tool. Finally, interpreting results in a context of survey objective and reporting the finding through clear visual representations like charts and table ensures that the data delivers meaningful insight. So by following these steps, statistical survey can provide actionable and informative results that derive decisions in field ranging from business to public health. So I hope you have understood the concept here what we have discussed in this class where we worked on statistical survey mechanism. So with this, it's time to wind off unit 1, and I hope you have understood unit 1. Unit 1 was all about working on and understanding statistics. So statistics start from data collection to organization to analysis, and then finally it ends with the presentation of data. While working on data, we work on different kind of mechanisms. Either we work on primary data, or we work on sample data, or we work on secondary data. So it's important that we should work on data, and then working on data only can help us to understand this subject in much more meaningful way. So guys, it's time to wind up this session. Happy learning.